Here at the Australian War Memorial in Canberra, one of the nominees for the Seven Wonders of Australia and one of the country's most significant buildings. A moving tribute to Australia's war veterans, it houses a national collection that is incredibly significant and comprises of relics, photographs, real-world military vehicles and a host of other artefacts from wartime. It's well worth a visit both for educational and for tourism purposes. I'm here with Chris from the Australian War Memorial. Chris, can you give us some background on what makes this building such a special place?
Yeah, the Australian War Memorial holds, I think, a really privileged place in Australia's society. And in many ways, they say that we are the soul of the nation. But I think what it is that as the memorial itself is something that's really special because it started from the First World War, which was one of the very first things that Australia as a nation did following Federation. The Australian War Memorial is a unique institution because it combines three very sort of important things. It's an archive, because it's our role to collect Australia's war experiences, both the relics, notebooks, personals and official histories. We're a museum, because obviously you can come in and enjoy the galleries and see what it means to be Australian in many ways. But we're also a shrine, and it's our role to remember those who have fallen, made the ultimate sacrifice in military war and warlike operations, and because we have the tomb of the unknown soldier here in the Hall of Memory.
And what role does the Australian War Memorial play in annual commemorations?
Yeah, so we actually have around 400 ceremonies and events throughout the year, and we commemorate all those anniversaries of things that happened from, really sort of major things like Anzac Day and Remembrance Day. We've got the 100-year anniversary of Remembrance Day coming up in a couple of weeks, to more sort of smaller things, but no less and more important things like the Sandakan Death March or Vietnam Veterans Day and things like that.
And what role does it play in terms of education, especially for, I know it's popular for school students and a lot of educational value that way as well. Can you give us some background on that?
Yeah, so through the gates we have around 1 million people who come every year, so the visitation is quite high. But through the side door in the education area we have about 150,000 students who come through. We're one of the three institutions here in Australia, here in Canberra, that is encouraging of all students to come through. Learning about Australia's experience with war is in many ways learning about Australia and our characteristics and our character. And so it's really important that people come through and experience our education program.
In terms of the key highlights within the memorial for visitors, what are some of the things that they most enjoy seeing?
Yeah, so the memorial is really important because it helps people to mark what it means to serve in Australia's military forces, what it means to our nation and the freedoms that military service help us to enjoy. And also those who have sacrificed and died in service of our nation. So for many people, the most poignant thing is pretty much the commemorative area, and that's where we have the Roll of Honour, which lists those men and women who have died in war or warlike operations. It has the Hall of Memory, which contains the grave of the unknown soldier, and it also has the Pool of Reflection, where we ask people to come and reflect on what it means to serve our nation and what that service has given them and given us as a nation.
And as you know, it has been nominated as one of the Seven Wonders of Australia in the architectural category. Why do you feel it is worthy of that title?
I think from our perspective, what's so exciting about being nominated as one of the three in Canberra is because it allows us to remind people of the importance of coming here. We know that 3 out of 4 Australians have been to the Australian War Memorial. We have high visitation, but a lot of people haven't been for a long time. And so we would really encourage people to come in and see the new things that are here. And we hope that the promotion that you guys are going to help us get with this fantastic prize and this fantastic competition will help encourage people to come back and have a look at the memorial again.
Yeah, definitely well worth a visit and quite moving as well.